All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for your Lie in April, episode 7.
Okay.
Oh, had to get my drill out there for a second.
Yeah. That's
All right, so we have Tsubaki and Kosei.
Yep.
And they had a very heartfelt moment as he
Completely
carried her,
miscommunicating.
completely talking past each other. Yeah.
Yep.
With Kosei trying to encourage her and Tsubaki talking in double
speak, yeah.
phrases and stuff.
As
yeah.
she cries onto his back.
Yeah. I don't want to kind of reiterate too much of what I said in the discussion in the previous episode. So watch that discussion if you haven't yet, because I talked in depth a lot about kind of this whole idea of communications and stuff and how it can affect relationships and stuff and the kind of confrontations that can happen when young people who love each other don't know how to do communication well. It can get really messy.
And that's when both of them love each other.
So, I just want to get into this episode and see what goes down, because I'm mostly ready. And I don't want to kind of psych myself out before the discussion, making myself unready. So yeah, guys, let's get right into this episode and see what happens. All right, guys, we're doing the the full reactions and stuff as well with the timers and stuff. So make sure to sync your footage. The timer in the bottom left there. I'll be giving you a countdown here so you can get that all set up, and we'll be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. A cat. The cat from the opening, speaking to him. But that cat had blue eyes. Huh. Cool.
Yep, blue eyes.
That part, see? See the falling stuff? Yeah.
The full version for this is pretty great.
Oh, I would love to listen to that sometime.
It's almost like 5 minutes of just straight awesome.
I don't know the words, but I'll sing along. More like a hum along. A humana. My gosh. Wow. Ike! Oh, just barely out. Nice try, though. Very nice.
Yeah.
Reflecting irregularly across the clear skies. Oh. Oh, that Watcher is not the one that's crying.
Uh-huh.
Ha. Watari! Seriously, everyone's in love with Watari. Even his own teammates. Oh. When no one else is looking, yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Where he can be not cool.
Right. Oh. Cool. Hmm. Hmm. Very soon.
Yep.
Wow. That's some music.
Yeah.
I don't know much about music, but hey. Hmm. Hmm.
Just flat face.
They think he
Planted.
like passed out or something.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I just tripped, guys. I'm actually fine.
I'm just thinking hard about something.
Right. But of course, Cowrie freaks out. Wow. She calls him friend A. Oh, skipping meals, bro. No. Gotcha. 5 packs of them.
So it's that cafeteria food. They don't put much in
Right,
there.
right. Oh, the cat. Nice. That was cool. Whoa, whoa. He ate too many egg sandwiches, I guess.
Yeah.
Nervousness and stress and all that, that'll get to you.
Mm-hmm.
This piano, the dong, dong. Oh, crap. The mom. Oh, crap. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Yikes. Hmm. Yeah. Huh. Ha! Yes, this is an accurate assessment. That was really kind of her to say.
Mm-hmm.
Ha! And now you're just being chaotic, Kaori. Nice. That's awesome. Sometimes. Whoa. Yep, there goes the cheeks. Who said that? Yeah. Oh. Aw. Yep, yep. Ah. Nah.
Just a bit.
I think that's just part of it.
Right.
Yep, she will. Ay, ay, ay. What's with Kaori? Uh-huh. Okay. I don't get it.
I'm not. Well, okay.
It's a music reference.
It's a music thing. So
Okay.
because apparently it's a number that's related to Mozart's piece, that has the
Gotcha.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh,
She's like, that's good luck.
an encounter with your past indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hmm. Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 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 And there they are. Whoa. Forgot their names. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the Armacoon effect. Wow.
Yep.
Ah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's probably the primary part of it. Yeah. See, those competitions. See, she said that as if she remembers it.
Well, one of the other things is that the idea is that most everyone knew about him at that time.
Yes, but like that sounds like she personally watched some of them.
Gotcha.
Aren't they competing against each other too?
Uh-huh.
Like, why are they on a team, you know?
Because they've always, the enemy of my enemy.
I guess. I do like their passion, though.
Uh-huh.
It endears us to them as characters, despite it being antagonistic towards Kosei.
Right, and very, overly dramatized and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Super anime.
Oh, yeah. He even has
Kiddish
the
kinda
spiky
stuff.
hair and everything.
Wow.
Yep.
It's not like they couldn't compete in competitions, though, when he was gone, though, right?
Oh, yeah, and they still did.
But then I guess the idea is that because they were beaten by this guy that never showed up again, they were never able to show that they were better than him.
Exactly.
They
The
want
idea
that
that you'd
rematch.
still feel kind of in second place because, the idea that...
They're like, well, there's no Arima-kun, but it was still a good win, you know?
Right,
It's
right,
Like, oh,
yeah.
Probably hear his name even in his absence and stuff.
Yep. And now they can actually do, their own piece,
Right. All the other musicians and stuff, nervous, freaking
Oh,
out
yeah.
and stuff.
At least I'm pretty sure they can choose their own piece. Yeah, they
Oh.
can.
Buddy. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
vomiting or just barely holding it together.
Right.
Does that say "life is enough" on his shirt?
No life is enough.
Oh. Broken seesaw. Oh, and he has to walk past him.
Mm-hmm.
Putting on a good face for
Mm-hmm.
that whole bit there. Yep. Stage fright is a real thing. It's a very, very
Especially when you're 14.
intense thing, yeah. I don't care about the age, really. I mean, it's terrifying, like, yes, like, all across the board. Oh, he does Chopin as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. So, their criticism about Kosei picking boring music might get,
No, that was Emmy, and she was saying he plays boring music like more. She was saying more about the way he plays than the pieces he chooses to play.
Gotcha. Oh, this is his coach. His coach is a judge? Or is it just a judge just trying to encourage him?
Yeah, probably that.
Ooh.
Yep.
Wow.
I love it when they go into the into the actual performances where they want to
Sakuga it up and just
I'd be
high
like,
frame
okay,
rate
this
the
is an
whole
important
animation
performance,
bit.
not some random person that's
Yeah.
coming through or whatever. Ugh. It always feels so like such a cheat to basically have the episode end before the performance, because it's like,
Yeah, I don't like it, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like the way this episode ended at all.
yeah,
Like, the main thing that was really good about this episode was the conversation between Kaori
And
Kosei at that bench
Right.
by the train.
yep,
This is the thing I've just kind of noticed about this show is they don't really have kind of an episode, like, it's a very linear show.
right. So they don't put a lot into the individual
And
episodes.
they don't put a lot
of
of the individual episodes.
right,
no.
of making it be something that stands
Meaningful.
alone. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So they will have those episodes come up, but they're not guaranteed.
Right, it's the idea that, the fact that you got the bit about the mom and the cat and that, conversation and stuff, that's the
Right.
majority of it, not the other stuff. Right?
Okay, so this wasn't one of my
One of your favorites?
one of my favorites. No. This was
It was an in-between episode.
This was an in-between episode.
Yeah.
It's there to build up individually the performance coming up. And it doesn't really stand on the bearings of any previous stuff because they use this one to go into why these two kids, Aiza and
Emmy.
Emmy, really care about defeating Kosei. Because when you think about what Kosei went through, his mom basically drilled him into a machine.
Yep.
Like, she drilled him like a drill sergeant and essentially broke him down and built him up exactly the way she wanted so that he would be winning competitions.
And he did.
And it's something that he did do. And he did it a lot. And the thing is that it broke him completely. Now, with all the other people, they get to see this freak of nature essentially be put on display. The human metronome. I love the imagery and the sound also that comes from thinking about what a human metronome would sound like. Because they're a human being, so they have to have the capacity for, great things. But a metronome sounds like just the most dull drum and
even one
just
thing after
heartless
the other. Yep.
mechanical device.
Oh yeah.
And when you think about what human beings are, we're anything but mechanical.
Exactly.
We're irrational. We're chaotic. We're all over the place. We have instinctual things that we tend towards.
Yeah.
But we tend towards them.
Exactly.
We don't fall into them at a specific timing consistently.
Right.
If anything, having a healthy sort of consistency would be fantastic. But
Sure.
we know that the way this was drilled into Kosei, that this consistency was anything but.
Yeah.
So,
not exactly.
So it helped him win some competitions and earned him some rivals in the process.
Yep.
But I think that what this episode, what's the redeeming thing about this episode is it actually went into the identity thing.
Yes,
So
it did.
I love when shows and stories go into identity because in the kind of atypical hero's journey kind of stuff, it's generally once you've acknowledged the darkness of the past that you're able to define the parts of you that in some way survived the dark pit, so to speak, into whatever comes next in the future.
Sure.
So Kosei has all these other attributes that Kaori kind of brought up.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, you're this, you have this, you like this, you do this, da 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 da.
You're not just a shadow of your mom.
You're not just a shadow of your mom, but you're also more than those things.
Right.
So these are just things that prove you're not a shadow of your mom.
But you are
don't-
not these things.
Well, yes, but it's more saying we don't prove our identity based on what we're not any more than we are based on the things that we do. So when Kaori brings these things up, I don't think she's wise enough to know that that's where identity should be based on. Because if you base your identity on something that you do, you could just have a bad day where you're sick and then you don't do the thing that you're doing.
The whole point is that the
and you
identity
go
is
crazy.
the foundation that goes beyond just what you do. And as 14-year-olds, they're probably still figuring out who exactly they want to be.
And they probably will be for years and years, so that's fine.
Right.
But I like that Kaori used things that were so simple and mundane to provide a harsh counter to the the grip of the dead mother. It's it's very fun because it kind of bats away her influence with almost a callous kind of, no, you're just not a shadow of your mom.
Right.
Like you like what were the things that she mentioned? She mentioned like really silly things.
She was like, you like egg sandwiches, you
Right.
like moo milk, you strangely enough have a sweet tooth. You're jealous of the chick magnet Watari. Hey, magnets.
You're no chance against Tsubaki or something.
Right,
like that.
yeah. You're terrible at sports. Yeah.
Yeah, those kinds of things are like just casual observances.
Right.
It's not getting into any kind of the deeper stuff, which also is a fun, clever writing way to show that Kaori doesn't truly understand Kosei. And it's something that's kind of good to bring up is that she'll say these things that seem like they could be in a way understanding where Kosei is at, but I think in also a lot of ways she's not. She's just paying attention, and she might not know necessarily which things are going to resonate and speak well to him, because there was a part where she said something and she said, oh, you're not Chopin, you're not Chopin. Chopin, yeah. I think it's French. So Chopin would be how you.
Oh, really? Oh.
It would be how you
I'm
say
going to still say
Chopin
or
Chopin?
whatever, because Chopin,
Anyway.
I don't know.
Chopin.
Okay.
It's a back of the throat thing. Anyway, he might not be French, so he actually might be He might be German. That's why they were talking about going to a German competition. Who knows? German
does sound right.
Irrelevant, mostly in the story sense of the things.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a great musician from the past.
Right. Yep.
The thing is that she made him to be like a great musician from the past. And Kaori's just like, you're not that. Like, just saying that from an external source is more powerful than if Kosei was to say it himself. Because if he's to say it himself, he's just to be able to go, no, that's not true, you're lying.
Right, yeah.
It's just, you can't deny what someone else deems to be true.
Right, you can reject it, but you can't deny the fact that they came to that observation.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can't convince them otherwise, basically.
Right, you can't argue with someone else's opinion.
It's really funny how that's a very real kind of wise thing to kind of come to the realization of, is that arguing someone else's opinion is just a waste of time.
Yeah.
But also, in another way of looking at this, arguing against someone's beliefs is an even bigger waste of time.
Sure.
Because in this case with Kaori, she believes in Kosei.
Yep.
But I don't think she believes in Kosei in who he really is. Meaning that she believes in the person that she observes. She believes in
the person she believes in, kind of a thing.
Right, yes. Yeah. And Kosei knows himself, so he might have some struggling with believing in the person that she's believing in, because he's like, that's not me.
Yeah.
But when she's able to then separate the things out of going, well, you're not these things, and you are somewhat along the lines of these things, he's able to then go, oh, I can kind of clear away a little bit of what my mom has kind of shoved into my brain a little bit, and kind of just get out there and do this. But I still think we're in for a very rude awakening with this whole thing of how deep the trauma is with his mom, since we haven't gotten to his part in the competition yet.
Gotcha.
And they very intentionally had him towards the end of the presentation concert.
Number 14 or whatever it was.
So that we could see all these other people go up there with their nervousness and stuff, and then when he gets up there and he sees his mom in the stands or the crowd or what have you, and he chokes and he has his moment again, he's going to have to cling to something. And I don't think Kaori's words are going to be enough. But what I think it could be is that her belief in something that's connected to him is enough.
Gotcha.
It's not going to be the actual content.
The whole idea that people never remember what you say, they sometimes remember what you do, and they always remember how you made them feel.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be how Kaori makes him feel, and or maybe some of the other people in his life as well, like Tsubaki or maybe Watari, I don't know. But
yeah, Watari got that little bit of development in this episode.
Yeah, that was great. I don't think that's development as much as depth, but it's just a moment that's like, good. Kaori is a good boy. He is a boy.
Watari.
But he's did I say Kaori?
Yeah.
Oh, Watari. Watari is
that's actually the crazy bit that you've never seen coming of this entire show, Caleb, is that Kaori is actually a dude. No.
Kaori, like the springtime and sunshine,
and a dude.
Beautiful hair, eyes like the stars, brings a flutter to my heart. A dude. that would be fantastic, and completely stupid. I mean, completely stupid. I can this story.
Yeah,
it'd be very hilarious, but anyway.
But that would kind of right.
So, I think that the main thing I want to kind of ask you in this episode is that when you look at kind of the identity stuff going on in this episode, in that conversation by the train and stuff, what kind of insights do you get specifically to Kaori as to why she's doing this?
Well,
because I know that you're not too worried about saying something you shouldn't.
No,
but I wouldn't worry too much about hinting at things specifically either, because in this story, the thing that you get the vibe of here is that the big question at the end of all of this will be why.
Right.
It will be why.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in these moments, in these moment-to-moment things, is it as simple as, I want to help you? Or is it as simple as, well, you're at a competition and I just want to make your life a little bit better? Like,
Well,
what were the things that came through your mind when you were initially watching this?
When I was initially watching this episode, that conversation was actually, or the things that you're focusing on from that conversation was like towards the bottom of my radar.
Oh, okay. What were the things that you focused on?
The things that I focused on was the stuff around the mom. Because the things that she was telling him, I was like, okay, that's all good stuff. That's all good stuff in response to the stuff with the mom. The fact, like, the whole bit with the cat, like, I really loved that as far as the imagery of that and the fact of, like, wait a minute, how far exactly does this mom go to make sure that her little boy, you know, is the best piano player ever? Right?
Yeah.
The idea that it's like, oh, kitty scratched your hand. All right. Like the first time I saw this show, I wondered whether it was that she took it away and abandoned it or took it away and drowned it. Because...
Why did you think drown specifically?
Well, because you'd think the cat would basically come back home.
No, cats are pretty dumb. They don't like, cats don't usually come back home. That's a dog thing.
Okay.
Cats, you can just leave them out, like, way out and about, like, somewhere, just really far away, and they won't find their way home.
Oh.
Because cats
Maybe it's the smell thing.
Cats are not as loyal to their owners, and maybe also the smell thing.
Yeah, that probably has something to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I totally am with the whole abandonment thing, because
yeah, the first time I watched this show, I thought it might have just been a cover type thing, and it's like, no, she actually like took it out to a lake somewhere.
She effectively did kill it for him, though.
Yeah, right.
I still don't see it
he's
as
a little
being
kid. It's still going to be something that's
it's
crazy
effectively
traumatic.
It's effectively a kill. It doesn't matter whether or not he saw it. The idea is that she removed it from his life.
Yep.
Yes, I think that's a thing that I was like, okay, that's messed up. But I kind of expected something like that.
Sure, because of how terrifying the mom has been built up to be and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the actually like terrifying stuff, like the kind of thing of like where this mom should have been in prison. You know,
Gotcha.
Like she should have been like imprisoned because of how she mistreated the boy. Like when I hear about her conditioning the environment around the boy a specific way, Kosei, weird way of saying the boy, he was still Kosei when he was little,
Right.
That makes sense. That's the kind of messed up things a controlling helicopter mother in that instance would do. So that thing, I guess, just didn't hit me as much.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like this story is trying to, on some level, is trying to manipulate you emotionally a little bit with the whole abusive parent trope, which I'm totally I'm totally okay with being a story element. But the thing I see being kind of the meta theme throughout it is Kosei's journey versus what exactly is Kaori's journey, and why is she choosing to be involved in Kosei's journey? So I almost see all the things involved in their journey as being like, well, yeah, those are the things that make up their journey. But as to why are these two specifically, because Kaori is the initiator in a lot of ways in this, because when they had their little chance encounter, you know, with the whole friend A thing in that, she was pretty quick to, at the competition, you know, it was either the second or third episode, be like, so how did I do? Like, go to him for the feedback on those kinds of things. She had this special deference to him.
Right. She probably recognized him.
Well,
yes,
I mean,
like,
I know that
other people at the competition recognized him.
I know that she recognized him. My thing is, why is she choosing to give so much of her energy, her time, her precious time to this boy?
Yeah,
and
that's one of the really good questions, because if you think about it, right? Because in this episode, one of the things that really stood out to me was the idea of how Kaori talked about Kosei's mom, of like, oh yeah, you know, like I've heard about how, you know, or whatever, like all the things people would say about you, the human metronome, all that stuff, and how that's so completely different from how Kaori plays, right? That she doesn't see music as being that, she sees music as being freedom, right? So then there's this whole contrast. So in the whole idea of right now, like, why is she like spending time with Kosei, basically? In my mind, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, this all makes fairly basic sense from the standpoint of she would want to basically help him escape this thing that would seem so foreign and abhorrent to her.
Yes. Yes. She's trying to give him freedom. She's trying to give him the light, the springtime kind of feeling and stuff. Of just having, you know, the ability to choose something else. I'm just wondering, like, when she goes into these little bits and she's specifically like targeting things like identity, like
maybe that's something she struggled with a lot.
That's the kind of meta questions I'm asking, is like, which of this is the thing that maybe she's projecting on a little bit, which are the things that maybe she's kind of overcome, so she has a little bit more grounding to talk on these things, because we don't know much about her. Like, this is one of the things that the show is aggravatingly continuing to do by bringing up music competitions, which I'm like, yes, the music competitions are cool, but they serve more as a purpose to get back to the real thing, which is so I see them ultimately kind of as a distraction.
Gotcha.
So especially then when they cut off in the middle of the music
and you're like,
competition,
okay,
I'm like,
come on, like, that's what the whole episode is building towards.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a sort of character introduction episode for a couple people, but that you haven't really been introduced to them yet.
Well, no, I should have been, right?
Huh?
I should have been introduced to them. This was their introduction.
Yeah, well, yes, but
it's the same way in which they mirrored Tsubaki and Wateri's disappointment with the whole idea of defeat and loss. With bringing in characters that have their entire character so far based around the idea of I won't lose again.
Right, because I have lost so much, you know, already, like, again and again and again against this kid.
Right.
One of the things that I've always thought was, like, really interesting about this show and how it does things is that since it made it so clear so early on that, you know, like Kaori going to the hospital and all that stuff, or passing out on, you know, on the stage, that it's like, okay, this is a plot point, right? And because they did that, and because that's all they've shown us so far, it's the idea that basically draws attention and draws focus, right? And because of that when I was watching this, that made me really excited, because it's like, okay, if they're bringing that up now, then does that mean that that's something that they're going to go more in-depth into, rather than just as being some shocking dramatic twist, you know, later of, oh no, I have cancer or whatever, you know, and I'm gonna die, or, you know, whatever it ends up being, right? The whole Nicholas Sparks deal. And
you had an incomplete sentence there. You were talking about how this being set up in a certain way could go somewhere, but
it's the idea that,
what is it then? Like, you said you thought it would be this, like, it could be this big twist thing, but what were you thinking it?
That basically, because of the way they made it, they made the plot point so, like, obvious and, like, telling you this is a thing, that basically it was going to be something that they spent a bit more time with,
and they just aren't doing that right now. Yes. You don't have to try and hide things. It's just true. It's not being brought up right now. Yeah. So I'm kind of with you. I feel like the main thing that the story does really well is it blends its themes together with its characters' interactions.
Yes.
And it's not really killing it so far in the plot. I really do feel like I'm getting a little bit strung along by some kind of...
You do care a lot about the plot, yeah.
I do care a lot about how the characters interact with the plot, and
Gotcha.
I do feel like that the characters will sometimes have moments where maybe it's actually a little bit more realistic than I'm letting it on. Let me go actually on a positive side here with this whole thing, because I think I just caught on to something here, is that on some level, the characters themselves don't know how to handle all their stuff, right? That's a very big theme of the show, is that you need each other, you need someone else to help you handle your stuff. Kaori is going to these other people, and this is something I think I brought up in a previous discussion, because from our side of things, it seems like she wants to help them. When the more realistic side of things is she's actually doing this in a very selfish way because it helps her. So, what we can then... yeah, you don't need to make it too obvious that I'm right, Jacob. So, what the show is communicating by having all these distractions brought up is that the characters have this weird kind of communication problem in which they can't bring up their needs. Like, Tsubaki can't talk about directly with Kosei what she needs. Kosei can't talk about directly with anyone what he's dealing with his mom. Kaori can't bring up directly with anyone this whole thing she's going on that she's dying or something. So all these things come up. Life comes up, and they use life and all these other things as distractions to get them into a state to where they can kind of feel like everything's okay. But the thing is, Kaori as a character brings around a wrecking ball of chaos in that she kind of shakes things out of normalcy, especially for Kosei. And if Kosei gets wrecked out of his normalcy, that affects Tsubaki. And
in a lot of ways, Kosei is also another kind of wrecking ball because of all the people that care so much about him. Whether it's Tsubaki or the Aiza and Emi.
So there's this chain reaction of people caring deeply and having how do I say this, their immaturity getting in the way of them actually developing as characters. So the plot then shifts into these things that will give them opportunities to have more conflict, with which will bring up to the surface their immaturities, their insecurities, their problems, their stuff, so that the characters can then interact and help resolve things together.
It focuses on a lot of things that the characters focus on, even if that doesn't make for the most engaging plot necessarily, because we know that there are things like, like you might smell Nicholas Sparks in episode 3 or whatever, it was, but Kosei,
Kosei, oh, well, let's forget that. We don't even need to talk about that. We know Kosei is not aware of things, but that's the thing. I'm not expecting the characters to be, meta-narrative analysts, but my thing is that the story is taking advantage of us as viewers, and that on some level bugs me. So I'm okay with it because I can see why that in and of itself is also tying into the overall themes of the story, which is the thing I just kind of brought up here with you. So if that's done well, then that's good. I just don't want, maybe in a more simplistic sense, I don't want this to turn into a music competition show. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I totally get what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Well, and when I first watched this show, I watched it over the course of 25 hours. So little things like this episode being a setup episode, I didn't really realize. That's not something that would come onto my radar because I would be more looking at the whole overarching story narrative and all that stuff. And since we're watching one episode a week, it does make those sorts of things a bit more noticeable.
I do think that we've stuttering there. We've sectioned off our discussion in such a way that we focus on the things that individual episodes bring out specifically and uniquely within the overall story that we've watched thus far, of course. So this episode does something clever with that. I just had to bring it up in that this episode, story-wise, felt like one of the weaker episodes.
This is a
overall,
we're starting a new arc kind of episode.
Basically. And I think that's okay. I think it's
okay. I'm fine. I love Haikyuu, but I'm not wanting this to turn into a musical sports anime type thing.
Sure. That's another great comparison to make here. Is this show reminds me in a lot of ways of the drama side of Haikyuu. So Haikyuu
Sure.
is all about passion. This is more about character drama and character just workings.
Because the
internally.
people, in a lot of ways, haven't, like, or in the case of Kosei, he does not have the confidence to be passionate
about anything.
because that's been worked out.
No, really, like about anything though.
Sure.
Like, name one moment in this show where he expressed passion.
It's usually just whenever he's thinking about Kaori. But yeah.
It's usually a thinking thing. That's not expression, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I think actually the closest thing to expression would be on his facial expressions. He will have moments where he'll go,
Right.
the show does something about facial expressions that's very clever. It's probably because of the high budget in this show. Back when it was
and the
made.
fact that they actually have lips.
Yeah.
Like,
but you'll notice they give very dynamic character expressions for split seconds, like very quickly. And if you're not paying attention to those, I think you're just going to miss out on some of the things that the creator is trying to communicate to you about the internal state of specific characters. Sometimes they'll get reiterated over and over again because they're very important.
right.
But
or
I think that
like,
this show
focus
actually
on it, and you're like, okay, yeah, I get
right,
it.
but I'm imagining from your position where things are at, I could see actually this show having a lot of rewatch value because you'll see those character expressions, those facial expressions, because you're looking for them.
This show, when I finished this show, I immediately wanted to start it over again.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's all you had to say.
Yeah.
I have perfect faith then that this show will not turn into the version of a music competition show in my head that I don't like.
Yeah,
It'll turn into the one that I do like.
Don't worry. They do a great job of handling it. And that was because when I was thinking about this episode, I wasn't actually sure whether they showed Aiza's performance at the end of the episode or whether they stopped it right then and then it's at the beginning of the next episode.
So this is one thing in where the means by which our schedule is might have tapped into a little bit of my overall enjoyment. But I think if I was watching this alone, it would have been worse. So since you're here, I'm able to then keep in context, kind of just mentally, just keep in context, like, this is a very linear show. And I love linear stories. I want good-sized cast of characters with lots of depth in the characters and a linear storyline.
This definitely does that.
And this definitely does that. So I just have to know that at my request for these types of shows to be made, there will be moments where the storyline has lulls as they prepare for a new climax.
They absolutely do that. In fact, that
is that kind of a thing in your line, April? Is basically just a bunch of little climaxes in the story?
No, but what I would when I would think about where people might basically negatively talk about this show is the idea that there will be the build up to those climaxes. Like if you think about something like Haikyuu, they'll be able to keep a game going for 5 episodes and keep it manage to keep it hyped the entire time, right?
Season 1, holy crap.
Yeah. Your line April doesn't really do that, so it'll they'll focus more on the I need to get this thing memorized perfectly and all that stuff.
Like him just freaking out in the hallway, being like, "I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared."
Well, or just him walking around the school, being like, "Okay, da 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 da."
Yeah. Speaking of which, random Easter egg: there was a girl in the hallway that had a blue dress on, like one of the competitors. It was literally Tsubaki's character model. Like, it was literally her face and hair and everything. Like, I
one of the things you don't know about the show, Caleb, is that there's actually, I'm glad you caught on to that. Tsubaki is she's one of 3. She's a triplet. Yeah.
That's funny. Guys,
this is going to turn into a magical girl show.
Yeah. Guys, this was an episode that caused some good discussion to be had, so I'm glad that we watched it. I'm looking forward to kind of the Jacob's hyped up Sakuga performance and stuff.
I don't want to overhype it.
Yeah. But I'm glad on some level that even though we had the whole stupid Sony copyright strike deal, you guys are going to get to see, all of you, the full reactions to us enjoying the performances.
Yes.
Me for the first time and you watching me watch for the first time. So guys, if you want to watch that next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. Any kind of Patreon support comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or even this guy in the spoilers section there.
I am in the spoiler section for Your Lie in April.
Yeah, and
I'm having a lot of fun in there.
And apparently you guys are all like having a great fun of doing this whole thing behind my back. Like,
well, I mean, it's the spoilers channel. Of course, it'd be behind your back.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I mean, come on.
But guys, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.